So, at the time of making this video, and I think it's actually probably pretty valid in general, is we're in the middle of the COVID-19 quarantine right now. So I know a lot of you are not going to have access to a training partner, and it'd probably be irresponsible for you to have access to one or be meeting up with one. So my training partner today is 2 blankets that have been rolled up into, a little bit of a small person body size. So what we're going to talk about now, as just kind of a drill, and we'll do this a little bit more with my husband later, but is kind of talking about the concepts of side control, right? And really any top control position. So for a basic side control, my partner's going to be here. They're going to have their arms protected, right? Because if they extend it out, I'm going to armbar them or I'm going to choke them. There are things I might do in Americana, I might do a Kimura. There's a lot of things that I can do to them, and this shuts down 90% of my attacks. So they're probably going to be pretty buried in here, right? So I'm going to underhook their head. Now, this grip on this side, I'm not really like trying to grab fabric or anything like that. If they're wearing a singlet, that's not going to happen, or a Speedo or something like that, that's not going to happen. But I'm really just kind of creating a little bit of friction grip, and I'm trying to get kind of right here under the armpit, and I get into this position. Now, one thing that is going to be pretty valuable, if you look at my knees here, right? My knees are as far apart as I can get them. Usually I'm going to try to connect their around their shoulder and around their hip as wide as I possibly can. I'm going to sink my hips as low as possible, right? And so what people will tend to do in this position when they first start out is they try to like put their weight on their partner. Now what you see here is my hips have come up off the ground, right? And I'm trying to put my weight up there. I'm kind of directing my weight and my energy forward. So if somebody really wanted to, it's going to be very easy for them to pick me up and roll me. Right? So I don't really want to be focusing too much on like putting my weight right down on the center of their chest, because a lot of times that's going to give me more trouble than it's going to help. So when I get here, I've got that underhook of the head here, right? So this is above the shoulder on this side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my shoulder here, I'm going to drive it in a little bit into the jaw. Not so much that I'm like trying to cause pain or anything like that, but as we talked about earlier when we were talking about bridging, the body's going to follow the eyes. So if somebody wants to turn into me and start shrimping away, they're going to have a harder time doing that if I'm looking this way, right? I'm not going to be able to turn into them to be able to start that escape. So I'm just dropping my shoulder in, mostly to control the head and get to look away from me a little bit, right? So I'm controlling the head here. Now, for right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into this position. Now, there are advantages and disadvantages to this, but I'm going to go ahead and put this arm on the other side. I'm going to pinch so that their hips are glued to my knee. So I'm controlling the shoulders, I'm controlling the hips, and I'm getting as low as possible. Now, if you're a smaller guy and somebody starts really kind of bucking you and you're really concerned about your getting rolled here, what I'm going to do here, I don't necessarily want to move this knee because this knee is blocking the knee that's on this side that they might use to regard. So from here, I'm going to just go ahead and straighten this out, and I'm going to drop that hip as low as I possibly can, right? I don't want to have any gap through here. I don't want to be glued to this spot, right? And now my weight's over here on his shoulder. You can actually probably see on my little blanket here that this is where the flat side is. It's not right here on center. It's definitely not on that far side. I don't care about that far side. I care about the near side, right? So I've got that smashed down here. I've got that leg extended. I've got this here, and I'm pinching here. Now, if they start bridging in to be able to get that knee on the inside, I'm going to have to adapt, right? Because if they get that knee in, they're going to start regarding, and there's very little I can do to stop them. So from here, I'm going to just put my hand right there. And that creates a frame, right? That's going to create a frame, basically, to block that knee from coming in. Now, there's a disadvantage to that, right? If they start to bridge into you and try to get their hips out, right, so they can start running around that way, I have to bring my leg back, my arm back in to this side and stop them from doing that. So this is not a passive position. If they start, squirming away this way, I need to follow, and I want to keep that knee connected to the hip the whole time. If they come in this way, I need to follow them. I'm not trying to immobilize here. I am just trying to block and make them work harder, right? Because when they're working harder, they're using energy, and I don't want them to keep having that energy later on so I can start attacking. But a lot of times, what Higgin Machado says is that when you're passing somebody's guard, when you are doing knee ride, when you're doing one of these positions where you're able to attack or pass or whatever, you want the person on the other end of this to be begging you to finish them. Just finish the damn pass. Just finish the damn submission, right? So by making them fight to get out and just kind of toying with them, they're wearing down. They're getting tired. And that's going to open them up to making mistakes. And whoever has the most full tank of gas at the end of the match is the one who's going to win. So I want them to be fighting me. I want them to be squirming away and doing all kinds of things that they can do on the bottom. And I just want to kind of practice maintaining. And this is, especially when you're a beginner, this is one of the most important concepts that you need to learn, is just how do I maintain a top control position. People are like, let's go to submissions, submissions, submissions. And the truth is, if you can't maintain a position, there's no submission that you're going to be able to grab. Right? So position before submission. One of the most important things that I want to tell you today.